Look, I don't know if it's because I watched one too many YouTube videos on this.
iPad Pro.
Which iPad?
But as someone who runs a business, as someone who also tutors and runs these exams, I managed to convince myself that this is going to be a good return on investment.
Further away!
Or at least that's what I managed to convince myself. And what is up everyone, it is Amin here, and I know it's been a while, but I'm just about to go and splash my hard-earned cash on purchasing this iPad Pro and trying to show you guys whether you guys should go ahead and do the same thing. So look, today's video is going to be about my experience with the iPad Pro, and I tend to come at it from a different angle because I know there's tons of videos and reviews on this. I'm not tech savvy or anything like that. For me, it's all about whether it operates in the way that I want it to operate, whether it does what I want it to do, and that is essentially what this review is going to be about. So it's going to be complete no nonsense, straight to the point, and hopefully you guys can take something away from that. And maybe if you feel as though you want to buy it, then you can do so. If it's not for you, then look, this could be another video to cement that point of view. So without any further ado, I'm going to go out there now and head over to the Apple store where I've actually ordered the iPad Pro, which is actually waiting for me. So let's get into it. All right, guys. So right before we what's it called? The iPad. Yeah. So all right, guys. Right before we go and pick up the iPad, I'm gonna pop in and go and have a haircut. Come on, join me.
Didn't you get it?
Yeah, I got it. Now, the question that I suppose I'm asking myself really is whether this will replace the MacBook that I own. And the truth is, look, I'm not gonna do it for the sake of this video and try and mislead you guys on in any way. I don't intend for the iPad to replace my MacBook, or I'm not suggesting to you guys in any way that you should buy this to replace a laptop and whatnot. For me personally, this is only going to be an addition because, like I already said to you guys, I already previously owned an iPad, which I was very happy to do so. And to me personally, the MacBook has its place and the iPad has its place, and I intend to keep it that way. They're two completely different devices, and I tend to just mentally, I don't know whether it's me being spoiled or whatnot, you know, I tend to have my MacBook which serves its own purpose, where I tend to do the most bulk of my work, things like spreadsheets, things like working on emails, documents, etc. and whatnot. That tends to be reserved for my MacBook. And what I tend to find is that my iPad, and especially in this particular case with this iPad, it tends to take me into more of a creative flow, and this is what I tend to do a lot more my social media work, my planning for videos, the ability to take notes on the go, as well as being able to respond to messages and emails quite quickly. Now, I know the MacBook can do that, but like I say, you know, for me, the way I tend to register is that the two devices operate very differently. And like I say, I tend to go into more of a work mode with my MacBook, and I tend to reserve more of my creative output with the iPad. And it's quite funny because effectively they're not that different from one another, but it's interesting how that user experience can be so vast and so different between the two. And this is what I found. I don't know how many of you can relate to this, whether any of you can. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know in terms of the techie side of things, I'm not fully acquainted with all of this stuff. You know, as far as it goes, I'm getting the 256 gigabytes and it happens to have the M1 processor. And look, if you're thinking about getting one or you've already got one, what has your experience been like? I'd love to hear from you guys, so do drop a comment down below. All right, and let's get into my top 5 things that I found from using this iPad. As I as I was just mentioning to you guys a little bit earlier, I like to keep my iPad as just a more of a visual device more than anything. However, with getting this one and getting the keyboard, I have to admit this has just been a great enhancement to that, and the user experience has not been deterred for me in any way. In fact, it's only just added to that. I like the fact that I can use my fingers to, you know, scroll across, and then also use the pen to sort of, you know, navigate or make notes or write things as I'm going along. But not just that, but also synonymously type as well at the same time. And it hasn't taken anything away, because one of the things that I was a little bit wary of was just the whole sort of ergonomics of it all. How is this going to work with regards to the keyboard? I tend to use it when I'm watching things, and I felt as though the keyboard would have got in the way, and it hasn't. If anything, it has been a nice addition, and like I say, it's worked very well together, and I don't regret getting this whatsoever, which has been great. Now, I was also quite wary that the case itself would become quite bulky, which in all honesty, it's more bulky than my previous iPad with this case on. However, it doesn't really make that much of a huge difference, and you know, I can put up with it. And because of how good it all sort of feels and works together, to me, like I say, it's not been a deterrent. It's been more of an enhancement. So, you know, for me, it's a win-win with this. Look, the next thing I would say is just how brilliant this screen is, and to be genuinely honest with you, the visuals, I don't know whether you can see it on camera, but the way this screen comes across and the way it's projected, it just feels very pristine. You know, it feels like a massive plasma screen, and to me it's been absolutely beautiful to not just only watch things, but to also feel a lot closer. I don't really know how to describe that. It's a weird sort of a thing. Like I say, you know, I previously owned an iPad, and that's been great. You know, I didn't think that could be topped any further really, and this has, again, I'm gonna just sound like, you know, just like another Apple fanboy, but the truth is, the previous screen that I had, I actually used a cover to try and protect that. With this, I don't even want to do anything to it, because I honestly, even though I tend to, one of the drawbacks is that yes, I'm getting my fingerprints on it, but genuinely speaking, it's been fantastic. Not that this was the point of me getting the iPad, but I've been watching a number of videos and having a great experience, and the fact that I can take notes with it, which is another point that I'm going to mention, has been fantastic. So the guys at Apple really done a great job. I mean, just look how colorful and how brightly lit the colors are. That's just been a great experience. Now look, I know there's tons of other YouTubers out there that have just raving on about the various different apps to take notes, like Notability, Good Notes, etc. Myself, I tend to still use the good old notebook that's already integrated from the moment that you actually download the whole iOS. And I tend to also use what's the one? OneNote, and that's worked pretty well for me. It allows me to capture all the notes and whatnot. And the brilliant feature that I found from this one, which I'm not sure the previous models had, well maybe the last one did, where I could watch something, you know, conducting a lesson as I'm talking, and it's a lot more fluid, shall I say. That has been a great feature, and one that greatly benefited, you know, myself, but I'm also sure students out there like yourselves are also benefiting from that as well. And that's basically it for me with regards to this fantastic product. For me personally, like I say, it's been a great enhancement to what I do, and I've not really had products like this where, you know, it's blown me away. I personally really like this product, to the point where I felt as though I needed to share with you guys. And guys, look, I'm not being endorsed by Apple in any way, but I honestly feel as though, like, for those of you that are considering it, especially if you're looking to, you know, use it to study, or, you know, to kind of like add to your productive way of life, then this is a really good product. Maybe you should consider it. So hopefully this was quite insightful to you guys. And on that note, look, my name is Amin, and if you haven't already got subbed to the channel, maybe you might want to consider doing that, and I will hopefully catch up with you another time.